Welcome back to N.Rajini Kiranmai YouTube channel. This video helps you to know the history of C language. So here we are going to present about the C language history in the form of a flow chart. Here we go with. So when you look at the history, we know that C language has been developed in the year 1972 in AT&T Bell Laboratory in Cambridge University in USA. And the person who invented this language is N.Rajini. It is an outgrowing of two early languages called BCPL and B, which were developed both at Bell Laboratories. And sometimes we call C is a middle level computer language. Why? Because it combines the best elements of the high level language with the controls and the flexibility of assembly language. And that is the reason why we sometimes see that the people calling C as a middle level computer language. And C is a general purpose structured programming language which is very powerful, efficient, and compact. It allows the manipulation of bits, bytes, and address the basic elements with which the computer functions. That means because of these features, people call C sometimes as a middle level language, but we learn C as a high level structured programming language and the general purpose high level programming language. When you look at the history, so when you see here, Algal is the language developed by international group of people in 1960. From this, BCPL has been developed, that is Martin Richard in 1967, then B, Ken Thompson, 1972, traditional C, K&R-C, ANSI-C, ANSI-ISO, and finally C99. Let us explain how this history flows from Algal. So, Algal is nothing but algorithmic language. So, this language is highly or heavily influenced many other languages, and it also helped to form a standard method for algorithm description. From this language, we saw that the flowchart is BCPL. What is this BCPL? This is Basic Combined Programming Language. And the purpose of this language was intended for writing compilers of other languages. And this language syntactically changed version itself is called as B language. And coming to the feature of this BCPL was a curly braces. And moving to B language, B is a modified language from BCPL that could be fitted within the memory capacity of mini computers of that time. And this is the language written by Ken Thompson, as we have seen in the previous slide, specifically for the computer called DEC PDP-7. And then from B came the C language. C was first designed by N.Rajini for use with Unix on the same system, that is DEC PDP 11 computers. That was 7 and this was 11. And why this C language is called as K&R-C means the first book on this C language was the C programming language by Brian Kernighan and N.Rajini, published in 1978, and because of this reason, C language was also called in those days as K&R-C. And when it is called as ANSI-C in 1983, the American National Standards Institute, that means ANSI, established a committee to standardize the definition of C. The resulting standard is known as ANSI, and it is the recognized standard for the language, grammar, and core set of libraries. The syntax is slightly different from the original C language, which is frequently called K and R for Kernighan and Richard. Moving to ANSI or ISOC, there is one more organization, that is International Standards Organization, that is very similar to the ANSI standard. And finally, we move to C99. This appears that there will be yet another ANSI standard officially dated in 1999 or in early 2000 years, and it is called as C99. Moving to the features of C language, this language has a number of characteristics of features, and not only the basic features or good features which helps us a lot. Along with it, this C language is rich in built-in functions and standards. Now let us look to the basic features of C language. It is robust or secure language. So this C language can be used to write the complex programs, and not only this, it is going to provide security for your data. That means you can also implement the security measures for your programming code. And moving to the second point, the C programming language is efficient, flexible, and fast. That means it utilizes less memory, and its performance will be very fast in completing the task. It is portable language. That means you can run the C programming written in one computer, and you can execute the same program that is written in one computer on another computer without any modification. And that is the reason why we call C is a portable language. And it is a structured programming language. Why? Because the program can be divided into functions or blocks, and the proper collection of the free functions makes a meaningful program. And that's the reason why we call C is a structured programming language. And C is a case sensitive language. That means uppercase letters, that is capital A to Z, and the lowercase letters, small a to Z characters, are not equal. And C language supports a dynamic memory allocation. That is, a memory is allocated at the execution time. Generally, the memory is allocated at the compilation time to the variables, but to memory allocation is done during the compilation time. But C supports memory allocation at the execution time even. And C has got the ability to extend itself because of its modularity, that is structured programming language. Without any disturbance to the already existing code, the C language code can be extended. A user can add his own features in the C library. And the last feature that I wanted to present about C language is flexible for writing a system software as well as application software. And that is the reason why we call a C language as a general purpose programming language. Thank you for watching this video.